"We're done supporting you," my father announced at the dining table. "No more indulging your fantasies." At that moment, my phone buzzed. "Miss Peterson," the voice said, "your cryptocurrency investments just reached $4.2 billion. I switched it to speaker. "Hi, I'm Camille Peterson, 31, female. For as long as I can recall, I've been the family's biggest letdown. Not because I caused trouble or fell apart in any obvious way. I didn't abandon my education, get into legal trouble, or disappear with some drifter. My sin in my father's eyes was far worse. I refused to follow the playbook. In our household, achievement had rigid boundaries. You became a physician, an attorney, or married one. My father, Gregory, is a renowned heart specialist, stern, inflexible, a man who delivers monologues, not discussions. My mother, Deborah, a retired nurse-turned-homemaker, perfected the skill of staying silent while steering the room. Then there's Ryan, my older brother, the Peterson family's shining star. Yale Law graduate, corner office, golf club weekends. If you flipped through a guide to ideal suburban sons, Ryan's polished grin would greet you, me. I was the outlier, the oddball. The girl who coded into the early hours, who skipped senior prom to refine a failed app prototype. The one who admitted she cared more about blockchain systems than medical school. From the beginning, I didn't fit their mold. I tried to blend in. I earned a college scholarship for computer science, kept quiet, came home for holidays, and smiled through their disregard. But no matter my achievements, they fell short. Every family gathering was a lesson in veiled criticism. Like the Thanksgiving, I attempted to describe cryptocurrency to my dad. "You're squandering your talent, Camille," he said. "You think being smart means the world will pay you for chasing dreams?" That night, I stood in the downstairs bathroom, staring at my reflection for ages. I wasn't sobbing. I was empty. In that moment, I made a silent vow. I'd stop seeking approval from people who saw me only as a flaw in their blueprint, so I quit chasing their validation. I launched 2 startups in 4 years. Both collapsed. I was betrayed by someone I trusted. I worked overnight shifts, survived on instant noodles, coded until my hands cramped. I slept in my car for 3 days once when an investor backed out and my roommate left abruptly. Through it all, I never reached out to my family, not once. I couldn't bear their voices heavy with judgment, but in 2019, things shifted. I created a new platform. It used AI to track live market sentiment across social media, compiling and displaying data trends for crypto investors. Initially, it was just a passion project. Then a mid-level investment firm contacted me. "We admire your work," their email said. Interested in discussing growth? I was. I negotiated fiercely, agreeing to partner only if I kept majority control. They pushed back. I stood my ground. Eventually, they agreed. Within a year, we were overseeing $70 million in client assets. Still, I kept it from my family, not out of malice, but because I knew their response. If I said I was succeeding, they'd demand proof. If I mentioned crypto, they'd sneer. If I said I was secure, they'd lecture me about needing a husband and a house. And Ryan, he'd turn it into a rivalry, so I stayed quiet. I lived modestly, drove a second-hand car, wore thrift store clothes. Meanwhile, my investments soared. My company grew. I became a major player in several crypto ventures. One exploded in popularity. Another was adopted for large-scale government systems. By 2024, my portfolio silently crossed $1 billion. Still, I said nothing to my family. Then came the call from my mom. "We're holding a family meeting Saturday. Be here by noon." Her tone was cold, like issuing a directive. I went, more curious than compelled. They didn't know my address, a detail I'd kept vague. So I arrived on time, sat at the familiar dining table with its scratched wood, and waited. My dad sat at the head, a file before him. Ryan leaned against the counter, drink in hand. My mom fussed with a fruit platter as if expecting company. Then my dad cleared his throat. "Camille, we've decided to stop supporting you." I stared at him. "From what?" "From the family trust funds," he said. "No more monthly payments. No more fueling this illusion. It's time you faced reality. Ryan is securing a future. You're still chasing digital mirages." Here's the thing. I'd suspected for years they didn't realize I'd told them to stop sending money. I'd funneled those funds into an untouched savings account. I never acknowledged the deposits, but in their minds they thought I was quietly scraping by on it, likely failing. I blinked, not in shock, but in quiet amazement at their bold misconception. My dad continued. "You're 31, Camille, no steady career, no property, you rent, you're single. We've given you enough time to mature." Ryan smirked from behind his glass. "Nothing personal, sis, just logic. That's when my phone rang. The timing was almost cinematic. I glanced at it. Ava, my portfolio manager. She usually texted, but this call was flagged urgent. I answered, something in me snapping into place. Without a word, I hit speaker. Camille, Ava's voice was vibrant, loud. Miss Peterson, we just hit it. Your portfolio crossed $4.2 billion. Crypto-to-cash conversion is prepped. Should we start the transfer? The room fell silent. No one stirred. No one breathed. I looked straight at my father, then Ryan. Thanks, Ava. Send me the updated records and store a secure copy in our offshore server. Done, she said. Congrats again. You've set a new personal milestone. I ended the call and set my phone down. My dad's hand clutched the file's edge as if it tethered him to the world. My mom sank into a chair, blinking rapidly. Ryan's mouth opened, shut, then opened again like he was trying to debate arithmetic itself. I leaned back, perfectly calm. Shall we continue this meeting? I asked, clasping my hands. I have some thoughts on fantasies versus reality. No one spoke. No one moved. The woman they'd branded a failure had just broadcast her billion-dollar portfolio. They couldn't even meet my gaze. My dad cleared his throat, his mind visibly scrambling to regain control. He glanced at the file as if it could save him. Camille, he began, his voice softer now. We were just worried, that's all. Your ideas have always been so unconventional. Unconventional? I tilted my head. You called them delusions. You said I was out of touch with reality. You claimed you were cutting me off from a trust I haven't used in 5 years. And now it's just worry. My mom fidgeted with a napkin's edge, her usually composed hands unsteady. Camille, darling, don't misunderstand. You're so talented, but you kept us out. We didn't know. You never asked for support. Was deliberate, I said quietly. I stopped asking because you never valued the support I actually needed. My father leaned back, staring at me like I was a stranger in his house. For the first time, I saw something shift in his eyes, not anger, not pride, but quiet disorientation, perhaps even remorse. Ryan broke the silence. Hold on, this is real. You're managing billions? I turned to him. No, Ryan. I'm creating systems, guiding clients, developing decentralized platforms, leading teams, and funding progress in new markets. The billions are a byproduct, not the goal. He opened his mouth but said nothing, a man so accustomed to being the apex predator he couldn't grasp how the landscape had changed. I stood. I'm not here for your validation. I didn't come to prove myself. You called this meeting to cut me off from something you weren't providing. So I'm leaving, and I won't return for holiday snapshots or more dinnertime lectures. Wait, my mom said quickly. Please don't go like this. We're trying to understand. Why didn't you tell us? Because I knew you'd never believe me until I had a number you couldn't ignore, I said, turning to my father. You told me to stop chasing illusions to join the real world. Well, this is my world now, one I built from nothing without your help, your rules, or your permission. And with that, I walked out. But the story didn't end there. That night, Ryan texted, if this is real, I know some high-value clients could be worth a talk. I didn't reply. A few days later, my mom left a voicemail. Camille, things got intense. Your father's been thoughtful. Can we have dinner next week? I'll make your favorite. I didn't respond. It wasn't spite. I wasn't punishing them. I just no longer wanted to perform for crumbs of respect I didn't need. I'd outgrown their stage. 2 weeks later, an unknown number called. I rarely answer those, but something urged me to pick up. It was my dad, his voice softer, slower. Camille, he said, I've been researching. About blockchain, about your company. I watched your TEDx talk from Singapore. You were remarkable. I didn't interrupt. I was wrong, he continued. I saw your work as a challenge to my view of success, and I'm sorry. I should have recognized your strength. There was a long pause. I'm proud of you. I didn't cry, but something in my chest eased like a long-locked gate creaking open. Thank you, I said. That means more than you know. We spoke for 10 more minutes, nothing profound, just human. For the first time, my father treated me as an equal. In the months that followed, I settled into a new home, not a lavish estate, but a sleek, sunlit space by the water, with clean lines and a quiet calm I never thought I'd earn, not financially, but emotionally. I began mentoring young women from underserved communities, some reminding me of my 22-year-old self, coding with trembling hands and fierce ambition. One, an immigrant named Leela, asked during a